Hey everyone! Regulation, like any policy tool, has its costs, whether economic, environmental, or social. So in this video, I'm going to go over 5 reasons why governments might choose to regulate despite those costs. Let's dive right in. First on the list is monopolies. A monopoly occurs when there's only one supplier of a product or a service. A natural monopoly exists when there are high barriers to entry, making it impossible for competitors to enter the market. On the other hand, a coercive monopoly exists when a single player drives out all competition. Either way, monopolies lead to soaring prices, workers being exploited, and innovation stagnating. Therefore, government may regulate to avoid those negative consequences. A prime example of a monopoly is the Standard Oil Company. In the late 19th century, Standard Oil, founded by John D. Rockefeller, controlled over 90% of refineries and pipelines in the US. In response, the US government passed the Sherman Antitrust Act, which eventually led to the breakup of Standard Oil into 34 different companies. However, stay tuned for a future video where I'll explain why governments may actually choose to create a monopoly. Next up, we have information asymmetries. An information asymmetry occurs when one party has more or superior information to the other in a transaction. This can lead to adverse selection or moral hazard, both of which skew the outcomes in favor of the better informed party. Governments may step in to ensure transparency by mandating that critical information is shared between parties. For instance, nutritional labels serve as a crucial tool for addressing the information asymmetry that exists between consumers and food producers. Food producers have knowledge on the ingredients, nutritional value, and other potential health consequences of their product, while consumers may lack that information. Nutritional labels bridge that gap by providing consumers transparent and standardized information. They can then use this information to make an informed decision and select foods based on dietary and nutritional needs and their personal preferences. Without nutritional labels, consumers would be susceptible to misleading marketing or unaware of hidden ingredients or allergens. And so by mandating the nutritional labels, the government is eliminating this information asymmetry between food producers and consumers. Moving on to externalities. These are the costs and benefits that affect parties not directly involved in a transaction. Take, for instance, industrial pollution. Neither the producer nor the consumer considers the environmental impact of production in their decision making. The rest of the world's costs of dealing with the pollution does not factor into the decision making process of either the seller or the buyer, and so it is an externality. Government regulation is often to force that externality into the decision-making process of one or both of the parties. In other words, it is to internalize the externality. While we often focus on negative externalities, there's also many examples of positive externalities. Take, for instance, vaccination. When individuals receive vaccinations, not only do they protect themselves from contagious diseases, but they also contribute to the broader public health by reducing the spread of illnesses within the community. As a result, even those who are not vaccinated benefit from decreased exposure to diseases, leading to overall healthier populations. Fourth on our list is human rights. Markets often fail to consider power differentials, resulting in inequalities and injustices. Therefore, government intervention becomes imperative to level the playing field and protect marginalized groups. Human rights legislation evolves as power differentials evolve and as society and government's perception of power differentials evolves. Human rights legislation tends to be some of the most well-known regulations. The two examples that include some human rights legislation are the United States Bill of Rights and the Declaration on the Rights of the Man and the Citizen. Lastly, coordination. While market purists love to talk about the importance of competition, there are many times when coordination provides significant benefits. A recent example of this is the move to make USB-C ports the standard port for all devices. This streamlines the experience for consumers, reduces waste, and ensures that consumers are not beholden to one company. When governments decide to intervene to coordinate, they believe that the benefits of coordination outweigh the costs in lack of competition. However, not all coordination is really affecting competition. Take, for instance, standard measurements. The length of a meter doesn't really matter as long as we all agree what it is. Of course, there are many more reasons why governments would choose to regulate, but I'll end the video here. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.